Whew. Look like a little crookedness going on right now. Hey, W. Wright, BR, how are you, my first contestant? They gonna chat today. Okay. Okay. Twitch Ali, I don't know what is going on. Hey, is that Uncle? Hey, Unc. First one on here. I'm waiting for the rest of the folks to come on here. We're gonna talk today because Dr. Umar Johnson is calling out the black community today, saying we should not be celebrating anybody being unalived. So we're gonna chat. That's what we're gonna chat about. If you got on here to talk about, that other thing, I don't care about him. Hi, Uncle. Miss you. Love you. You're my first person. I'm waiting for the rest of the folks to jump on before we get into today's topic for real today. But it is going to be talking about something Dr. Umar Johnson did bring up about Cam. Is that his name? Cam Kirkland? Hold on, let me go here. Cam Kirkland, I believe that was his name. The guy who recently just passed away yesterday. He said the black community should not be celebrating that. And then we'll get into his reasonings on why he feels like that. Who is Rashad? Hey, how are you? Who is Rashad? Welcome to the chat. No worries. Who is Rashad? You guys, there's 2 people on here, but more people will come, I promise you. We're talking about how Dr. Umar Johnson is calling out the black community for celebrating Kirk. I'm sorry, his name is not Kirk. I'm sorry, let me get his name right. Charles Kirk's death. He said it's unacceptable. We should not be celebrating it. And then again, I want to get into the reasonings. Again, I'm trying to give these folks a few more seconds to hop on because this is long. And then Amanda Seals, hey Chev. Amanda Seals says, yeah, we should be celebrating. And I'm going to play her clip. And then I'm going to get your thoughts and opinions. That's what we on today. Who is Rashad? Said, I'm doing blessed. Who is Rashad? It's Thursday. One more day to the weekend. Hey, Chev. All right. Dr. Umar Johnson's calling out the black community. Says the black community should be ashamed for celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. To celebrate an unaliving is completely unacceptable. He wasn't well liked. I see, Unc. Dr. Umar said, while I did not agree with Mr. Kirk's rhetoric and I considered him to be an anti-black bigot, I will never rejoice at the loss of life of anyone who hasn't directly participated in the unaliving of a member of the black African race. I am ashamed to see members of my community celebrating this. I will never ask you to mourn the loss of an enemy or race, but to celebrate an unaliving is completely unacceptable. We know all too well that the greatest recipients of political assassinations in the country have been our own people. Stop laughing at the misfortunes of others and get prepared. Political assassinations have returned to the United States of America, courtesy of the Deep South. Who is this? Rashad said, I understand, however, death isn't a laughing or congratulatory matter. I agree. But then you have Amanda Seals, excuse my voice, y'all, who has her own opinion about the situation. She feels no empathy for the man who lost his life. And take a listen to what she had to say.
First of all, Charlie Kirk don't believe in empathy. He said it's a bad thing. He said it's some new age made up shit.
I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made up new age term that does a lot of damage. But
he also said people gotta be sacrificed. in order to protect guns.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. Sure. So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at base?
If he was saying that while fighting for reparations, I may have a little bit of empathy. But this white-on-white violence, he died?
I didn't mean to laugh. That was funny.
Damn, B.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh, but that was funny. Okay, so, Mama, we're talking about today. Dr. Umar is calling out the black community. Says we should not be celebrating the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. Says we should not be celebrating. This is not something to be celebrated. So that is what we're talking about today. I read Dr. Umar Johnson. I'll read it again, but that was Amanda Seals, two different perspectives. Dr. Umar said, while I do not agree with Mr. Kirk's rhetoric and considered him to be an anti-black bigot, I will never rejoice at the loss of life of anyone who hasn't directly participated in the unaliving of a member of the black African race. I am ashamed to see members of my community celebrating this situation. I will never ask you to mourn the loss of any enemy or race, but to celebrate an unaliving is completely unacceptable. We know all too well that the greatness recipients of political assassinations in this country have been our own people. Stop laughing at the misfortunes of others and get prepared. Political assassinations have returned to the United States of America, courtesy of the Deep South. Who is it? Rashad said, I feel empathy for his family, wife, and kids, but not sympathy. Even though he had some outlandish views, God doesn't tell us to laugh at anyone's pain or death. Feel how you feel. He was a POS. Mama said, we not celebrating. We just don't have no sympathy. Sorry. Do you have empathy? Do you have empathy? And who is Rashad said, I get it. I'm saying let's all rejoice because a life was taken. Let's all rejoice. He and a wife and children, those kids have no father now. Yeah, I mean, that's the unfortunate, thing about this is that now this man is unalived and now he leaves behind his wife and his two kids. Who is Rashad said, let's not, I think you're saying let's not rejoice, Rashad. Yeah, please, because this is going to go up on YouTube and then people will eat me for filth on YouTube. They'll be like, what did you say, you? Anyway, but yeah. But I got what you were saying, Rashad. Who is Rashad? Because we have another Rashad on here. You're saying let's not rejoice in this, because this is, a terrible thing. But Amanda Seals has a different opinion. She is saying she doesn't have any empathy for Charlie Kirk, and this is what she had to say.
Charlie Kirk don't believe in empathy. He said it's a bad thing. He said it's some new age made up shit.
I can't stand the word empathy. Actually, I think empathy is a made up new age term that does a lot of damage, but
he also said people got to be sacrificed in order to protect guns.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. Sure. So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at base?
If he was saying that while fighting for reparations, I may have a little bit of empathy. But
okay. Mr. Austin said it's tragically heartbreaking. I don't know who's requesting a login to my thing. It might be Twitch. Anyway, it's tragically heartbreaking. We're all humans, but as a history buff, this is Mr. Awesome on Twitch. He's saying this is another version of the 1960s of the political assassination of Dr. King and Robert F. Kennedy. Absolutely, Mr. Awesome. Absolutely. There is too, and you don't want to bring, this man's past up, but there was saying on social media, something floating around, where he, I guess previously, like 11 years ago, said like, he felt like he got shot by an AR-15 or whatever. But that was 11 years ago, and it's circulating now. It's now going viral. I guess people were like saying he manifested his own death, which is crazy. So you definitely got to be careful what you put in the atmosphere. Mama said, "Where's the empathy for all the other people killed?" I want to say this again. May he rest in peace, and condolences to his family and friends. But right, Mama, going back to your point, wasn't there 2 or 4 people that recently in a Democratic Party that were gunned down at their home? And I feel like, and I'm not trying to compare, I ain't trying to compare, but I just feel like that wasn't, given the attention that this story is given. And he is not even a political figure, right? He's just like some sort of influencer. I don't want to get that wrong, so I'm not 100% sure. Mama said, I would not put him in the category with King or Malcolm or any other leader who was fighting for equality. Okay, Mama. Okay. But do you feel what Dr. Umar is saying now? Does he have a point? He's calling again out the black community for celebrating the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. I've seen a couple of people do some Instagram posts to our people, talking about this very subject and how they're seeing folks celebrating this very thing. I would say it's a very unfortunate thing. But my thing about it is, what do they say? He basically was practicing, or he was a believer, and this does not justify why he's unalive. But I mean, he was a believer in toting guns. He didn't want to change the policies and the procedures of the gun laws. So what they say, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So again, very tragic situation. You know what I'm saying? Anytime somebody loses their life, it's a very tragic situation. But for my new folks, if I have any new folks, Dr. Umar is calling out the black community. Dr. Umar was calling out the black community, saying that the black community should be ashamed for celebrating the unaliving of, Dune D again on Twitch. Hey, one Linnell Lee. So today we're talking about, I'll reiterate. Today we are talking about Dr. Umar calling out the black community. Hey, Tasha. Dr. Umar is calling out the black community for celebrating the unaliving of Cam Kirk. Says, it's completely unacceptable. I'll read what he said. And then Amanda Seals has her own opinion about this situation. Hey, Tasha girl. Hold on, let me see what, let me go back to what Dr. Umar was talking about. Lord Jesus, I can't. All right, here we go. Dr. Umar. Here we go. Dr. Umar says, while I do not agree with Mr. Kirk's, I'm sorry, Tasha, with Mr. Kirk's rhetoric, hey girl, and considers him to be an anti-black bigot, I will never rejoice at the loss of life of anyone who hasn't directly participated in the unaliving of a member of the Black African race. I am ashamed to see members of my community celebrating this situation. I will never ask you to mourn the loss of any enemy or race, but to celebrate an unaliving is completely unacceptable. We know all too well that the greatest recipients of political assassination in this country have been our own people. Stop laughing at the misfortunes of others and get prepared. Political assassinations have returned to the United States of America, courtesy of the Deep South. So that's Dr. Umar's perspective. So he said the Black community should be shamed on themselves. Shame, 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 shame for sitting here celebrating this man's death. Mama said a woman posted Black folks will give condolences to anyone, even the KKK members. Well, I will say this about my people. We are some forgiving folks. I feel like we the most forgiving. We is some very forgiving folks when it comes to things, chill. We are very forgiving, when it comes to things. And that's the one thing I do not like about us, because while the rest of these other folks is out here playing for keeps, we always out here playing for peace and love. You know what I'm saying? All F that. No, I'm just saying now. Mama said, and they will never shed a tear for Black people. Yeah. Tasha said, no one is celebrating. It's just that we don't give a F anymore. We aren't obligated to be compassionate or empathetic. Ninjas die every day, B. Okay, paid in full. One of my favorite movies, Tasha, girl. All right, so this is what Amanda Seals had to say about the situation in regards to
for someone like Charlie Kirk. First of all, Charlie Kirk don't believe in empathy. He said it's a bad thing. He said it's some new age made up shit.
I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage, but...
He also said people got to be sacrificed in order to protect guns.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at base?
If he was saying that while fighting for reparations, I may have a little bit of empathy.
I think, too, and Mama said, and we know Trump wouldn't be giving him the highest honor. I think, too, Mama, that I just saw something, and I'm not sure how true it is, that he's no longer going to, I think, give him the highest honor now. I guess because of all the stuff that's come out, but I'm not 100% sure, so I need to fact check that. We'll have to fact check that. But yeah. Hey, Mr. Clifford. Tasha said, sounds like he died for his own. Hey. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Ain't that what they say? Mr. Clifford. So, Dr. Umar Johnson is calling out the Black community for basically celebrating the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. I went into details, and I'll read it again in a second. But what are your thoughts? I know I've seen a lot of, on my timeline, I'm going to be honest, I've seen a mixture of folks, offering up their condolences. I've seen folks chastising the Black community for celebrating the passing of this man. I've also seen folks talk about how they've blocked people because of this. So, I mean, I've seen folks on the fence. So, I've seen folks that are, not empathetic towards it. And then I've seen folks that have been empathetic towards it in the Black community. Mama said, Dr. Umar, you deserve a lashing. I'm actually surprised that Dr. Umar is speaking out about the Black community. I'm actually surprised about it. But does he have a point, though? I mean, he didn't unalive any Black people. I'm playing devil's advocate. So yes, I saw that they released a photo of the guy too, of who they think it possibly may be. So I was happy. Jeez, I hate to say that. I was happy when I saw the photo. Sorry. Sasha said, on any given day, Dr. Umar needs to shut the F up. Respectfully, he really do be on one sometimes. I mean, sometimes he's for us, and then sometimes he's against us. What up, Margot? So yeah, I'm with you. Sometimes I get a little confused by Dr. Umar myself. Mama said, nope, we just don't care. And why do we have to? Mr. Clifford said, we didn't do it. Mr. Clifford said, is that the only reason why you would care about the situation? If it was one of us that did it. Mr. Clifford, I just want to know. But, I mean, I don't know. Again, it's a tragic, unfortunate situation. You know that now this man leaves behind wife, children. You know what I'm saying? That part is unfortunate. Tasha said, in the very moment of his death, he was still laying lies and hate directed at us. Okay, I mean, I gotta play devil's advocate, Tasha. Mama said, Dr. Umar, go to the back of the bus. Yeah, Dr. Umar was like, yeah, black people, come to the front of the He was not playing. So, but then you had Amanda Seals, and Amanda's always gonna give it to you. She's a straight shooter with no chaser. But she was like, empathy. He didn't even believe in empathy. And I mean, she did have the interview where he did say, like, hey, it's going to be some casualties of war, and unfortunately, was he his own casualty of war? Was he his own casualty of war, child? Because stuff happens, right? So, yeah, just a mess. This whole thing is a mess. Mind you, by the way, there was a whole nother school shooting yesterday that has not even generated this much of media attention as this. But I'm just saying, there was a school shooting yesterday in Colorado. I think one person did lose their life. But here we are talking about Charlie Kirk. I'm just saying. Mr. Clifford said they celebrated when they killed Saddam. Didn't they? My mama said he was talking about black gang violence before he was shot. Talk about karma. I mean, again, the videos, he said, sometimes it's going to be casualties of war. So, turns out that it looks like he was his own casualty. But again, like I said, very unfortunate situation. If I have any new folks, we are talking about Dr. Umar is calling out the black community for celebrating the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. Says to celebrate his death is completely unacceptable. He says, while I do not agree with Mr. Kirk's rhetoric and consider him to be an anti-black bigot, I will never rejoice at the loss of life of anyone who hasn't directly participated in the unaliving of a member of the black African American race. So that's Dr. Umar's stance. He feels like, okay, this man, he hasn't killed none of my people, so I'm not going to celebrate his death because he hasn't done anything to my people physically to harm them. He said, I am ashamed to see members of my community celebrating this situation. I will never ask you to mourn the loss of the enemy of our race, but to celebrate an unaliving is completely unacceptable. We all know too well that the greatest recipients of political assassination in this country have been our own people. Stop laughing at the misfortunes of others and get prepared. Political assassinations have returned to the United States of America courtesy of the Deep South. Rashad, this is your speed right here. I knew you was going to come. Charlie Kirk. Hey, got you opening it, T. Uh-oh. What happened? There you go. All right. So we're talking about today, Rashad, Dr. Umar calling out the Black community for celebrating the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. He says to celebrate an unaliving is completely unacceptable. He said, well, I do not agree with Mr. Kirk's rhetoric. And what up, got you open, ENT? I did see you. And consider him to be an anti-Black bigot. I will never rejoice at the loss of life of anyone who hasn't directly participated in the unaliving of a member of the Black African race. I am ashamed to see members of my community celebrating this situation. I will never ask you to mourn the loss of any enemy or race, but to celebrate an unaliving is completely unacceptable. We all know too well the greatest recipients of political assassinations in this country have been our own people. Stop laughing at the misfortunes of others and get prepared. Political assassinations have returned to the United States of America, courtesy of the Deep South.
Yeah, is there a question?
What are your thoughts
No.
about that?
Well, so here's the thing. Everyone acts like they're not aware of why people are celebrating. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not recommending that people celebrate, but we shouldn't be condemning people either, because and I'm tied to the church community and the uppity Negroes and all this other stuff, and everybody's like, yeah, we should, God said forgive and God said love and all of this other stuff, but nobody has that same energy on our end when it comes to how the Caucasians celebrate anything that happens to us that's negative, right? George
Mm-hmm.
Floyd, right? George Floyd. Now, you got all of these people talking about, hey, what about his children and what about his wife and all this other stuff. When they killed George Floyd and we were talking about what about his daughter, they didn't care.
Yeah.
They didn't care.
Yeah.
They were dancing on that man's grave. And so my thing is, why are we always the ones that have to chastise our people when they are only having an emotional reaction to the shit that the perpetrators have been pushing on us?
Right.
Once again, I'm not condoning it. I don't agree with it. The very first statement that I put up, I don't like this dude, but this is not the way. It's going to cause a ripple effect that we're not ready for. That is the message.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like him, but I don't condone it. That's the message. The message should not be, oh, he was a husband and he was a father and he was, no. We're not tap dancing over all the evil rhetoric that he's been spitting. We ain't tap dancing over that. Everybody's like, why are you going to pull up this stuff? Shit, it's who he was. Why are you talking? Every black man that is killed by a police officer, they go and the first thing they do, well, he was a criminal. Oh, he had a blank check that he was trying to cash. Oh, he was selling cigarettes. Okay, so it's obvious that's their energy. Whenever we match their energy, we're always wrong. Stop vilifying our people. You know why they mad? The same reason you mad. But they're not as educated and all of this other stuff. And so they don't know how to handle their emotions. I get it. I completely understand. So my issue is more so with those of us that are always, every time something happens, every time we have an emotional response, it's always, well, God, that ain't what God said, do. Shut the fuck up. And these are my people.
Nah, I second that emotion. I truly second that emotion.
Put up
Cause
that.
what's up, Sean? Like when it first happened yesterday, everybody asked how I felt. I was like, yo, I don't feel no way. One, I don't know the man. He does nothing for my people. He's done nothing for me. And all he's ever done was spill hatred and falseness. Why would I care about someone in that type of manner? And he got what he asked for. You understand what I'm saying? And people always say, well, no, you gotta have forgiveness. Man, forgive what? What happens to my brothers and my sisters when they get pulled over and now someone just feels threatened because who you or what you look like and they are alive you? Where's that same energy talking about, oh, yo, that's a mother, that's a daughter, we should, nobody's saying that. Oh, they should have been there, or they probably deserve it. What my man just said, 80% of black men don't have fathers in the household? Dude, where those numbers come from? What are you talking about? Like, do you even know what you're talking about? Like, I'm on a military base now.
Mm-hmm.
And as I show, they have mass.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
I thought they was at half mass because 9/11. No.
Absolutely insane.
Because of old boy.
Oh.
What have you heard about 9/11 today? Absolutely nothing. What have you heard about the 3 black students that were just shot last week? I didn't even know it happened.
I didn't
What
even.
about the children? Or what about the children that were shot in Colorado?
Yesterday.
In school. Yesterday. Right?
None of that.
And then we just had what was it? A senator. Her husband was just killed.
They didn't give a damn about that. Donald Trump didn't say a word.
Nor did the flags fly half mast.
No.
This man wasn't even a politician. And these flags look like, they half mast.
He was an influencer.
And they're like that till Saturday, Sunday. They're gonna be like this to Sunday, early Monday.
All right, let me read some comments, and then I want you guys to hear Amanda Seals' take. Anderson Clifford said, Mr. Clifford said, I'm not celebrating, but not as sympathetic for him. But that same energy for the kids in schools getting shot, we do need to put that same energy into the kids. But I'm going to play a clip. Hold on. Mama said, we just not holding a candlelight visual. Tasha said, Deep South not claiming this. Its return is courtesy of Trump, and all the political terror is happening during Trump's presidency. I agree. Mr. Clipper said, preach. Hey, Shayway, hopefully you're still on here. Mama said, freedom of speech. They drag black people through the mud. Why do we have to be the bigger person? I agree, Rashad. They were Democrats, so he doesn't care. And Malcolm said, when JFK was assassinated, it was said that the Russian and Cuba were celebrating his death. Plus, when Dr. King was assassinated, it was even reported that the FBI government were celebrating his death as well. I mean, I believe it. But I want you guys to take a listen to what Amanda Seals had to say. She said she has basically no empathy for this man in his passing. So here we go.
For someone like Charlie Kirk. First of all, Charlie Kirk don't believe in empathy. He said it's a bad thing. He said it's some new age made up shit.
I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage, but...
He also said people got to be sacrificed.
Yep, he sure did.
I think it's worth the cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. Sure. So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at base?
If he was saying that while fighting for reparations, I may have a little bit of empathy.
All right. What are your thoughts to what she just said?
I mean, I agree with her.
You agree with her?
I totally agree with her, 100%. Like, yo, I agree with her. And that what makes it even crazy is that I didn't know he was connected to what's her name? Candace
Who?
Owens.
Oh, I didn't either.
How are
Yeah, I
they
know.
connected?
Like they were like working together,
Well,
or
yeah, because both of them are idiots, and they're both influencers, and
yeah,
they speak the same language. So yeah.
they do. And
Uh,
and someone told me they dated. I don't know about that. I ain't do no research.
well,
I
Russia
could
got
say that.
married right now. Hey, Cartel Atlanta. All right, we got some new folks. So, Dr. Umar is blasting the Black community for celebrating the unaliving of what's it? Charlie
I wouldn't
Kirk.
celebrate it. I wouldn't celebrate it because I don't believe in celebrating anything of that sort. But I don't have no sympathy or empathy for it. I don't wish death upon no one. But you know what I'm saying? You when you live a certain lifestyle, you're going to get that back. It's going to come back.
Rashad, you mighty quiet today.
I mean, here's the thing: the reason we're not supposed to celebrate is because when we do that stuff to them, when they get mad, they don't go to the keyboards. When they get mad, they have started threatening HBCUs. And think about it. This has nothing to do with black folks. But when they get
Oh,
mad, it always comes back to us. That's
so
why we can't
wait,
go ahead.
I'm confused on why they're mad. Are they mad because the HBCUs are speaking out and saying stuff about this?
Hell no. They're
Oh,
mad
They
because
feel like it was because of melanated
it's
people that he
always
was
our
unalive.
fault.
It's our fault that he
It is
became
always
unalive.
our fault.
Everything is our fault. Like, but
We
it
are the
was an old
default.
white man who did it with a black mask.
We are the
oh well,
default.
well, I did see they identified the guy. Tasha said they built their careers on racism and propaganda. 1985 said, man, people got to chill. Dude was 31 years old. You got to give people a chance to grow. I'm 39 now. I had stances when I was 31 that I'm polar opposite on now. 1985, I know you ain't talking about somebody changing. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about that because we always go to that. They could be different. Here's the thing. These type of people are causing damage today that is affecting us today. We can't always give dangerous people a pass like we give the everyday person. This dude was a threat. He was evil. He was evil. Absolutely evil. I don't want to hear he was young and maybe he'll change. He ain't changing. He's not changing because that's where his money is. We got to stop pretending. We give these people way more leeway than they give us. Way more.
Facts.
So I told you I told you last year what was coming.
You did. You said it. Here we are.
Oh, this is just the beginning.
Political assassinations are bad. Are definitely bad. Mama said he died as he chose to live. Shouldn't that be celebrated? I'm just saying. Um, 1985 said he is a far right Christian conservative. 30 years ago, being conservative wasn't even a bad thing. The fact that you are over here defending this man, 1985, I find very funny because when it comes to the woman and her changing, you ain't got no sympathy or empathy when it comes to that. I'm sorry, I had to bring that in now, 1985. But you got all the sympathy and empathy for this man right here. Oh, it happened when he was young. He changed. People can grow. Nah, F that. I'm with Rashad today. I'm sorry. Tasha said high school students were shot up the same day, and everyone's still talking about Charlie. Yeah, at
Here's my
Colorado.
thing. And you missed the beginning, 85. I'm not celebrating, but I am not mourning. I'm not mourning him. And when people are trying to see, and the issue, and so what has happened is that now they have made him a martyr. They made him someone to rally behind. All of the racists all of the bigots, and everybody are going to refer back to September 10th. No one is going to be talking about September 11th anymore. Think about that. Today is September 11th.
Mm-hmm.
There was another school shooting, a high school shooting. You haven't heard anything about any of that.
Not really. And Mama said he was being groomed to be president one day. Um, Tasha said exactly, Rashada. Everyone doesn't deserve a pass, and everyone doesn't deserve support or empathy from the Black community. 1985 said, "I'm not defending him. I'm just saying celebrating death is not cool." Uh, Tasha said, especially when your entire career and reputation is built on the hated and separation of the Black community. 1985 said, "Yeah, I'm not mourning him either. I don't even know him. I'm just saying he got shot in the throat in front of his wife and kids. People are online saying he deserved it. That's wild. Hey, baby Barack." And Mama said, "I just want to know, how are Black people celebrating?"
Well, to the point that he is making, he's talking about all of the people that are actually saying that they're happy about it, right? That's what he's doing. And my thing is, look, I have to allow our people to express their emotion the way that they express it. It's not right, right? I've said there is no room for this because it's just going to anger them more, and they are the only ones that are willing to do something about it. We ain't about it. So I'm on Facebook. One of my partners is, he's one of those kinds that wants to live in the white community because they have the good schools and all this other stuff. Okay, I don't subscribe to that, but whatever. I can't vilify people that want to get away. Now he's out there, and now he's putting screenshots of how everybody in his neighborhood is all pissed, and they're all upset, and they're getting riled up. And I told him, and I was like, yeah. So I was like, yeah. So, that's what happens when you get out there with them. Because if there ever is a race war, now you're surrounded. And so he had one of his, I guess, another Black person that lives over there. She was like, don't worry about it. I got his back. I was like, bitch, you surrounded too. It's two of y'all in that neighborhood.
Like, what you finna do?
Your little 22 ain't finna do nothing.
Oh God, Rashad, you stupid. You said, what you about to do?
Man.
Got some new folks out here. We are talking about Dr. Umar Johnson. He's blasting the Black community for celebrating the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. Said we should not be celebrating it. It's unacceptable. Mr. Clifford said, and their own killed him. I mean, I saw the shots. 1985 said, on my story, people are posting old videos of his political opinions and hashtagging it karma.
Well, yeah. So once again, it sounds like you're more upset at these people than you were at the YTs that were celebrating George Floyd's death. And that's the part that I don't understand. How are you more mad at your people when they're doing the same thing that the other people do? Help me understand that.
They didn't have no problem celebrating back in the day when they was down taking pictures with us, our asses hanging from them trees. Don't you ever forget. They got memory of that.
Say the two letters together very fast, sir. It'll make sense.
What? Oh, he said, what is YT? Hold on. Tasha said, yeah. Mama said, we will never forget RIP to all the 9/11 people who died and the ones living with illness from 9/11. Yes, RIP everybody that passed away. And shout out to my survivors and the ones that keep on thriving out here after 9/11. Because Lord, I know it ain't easy. But yes, 1985. Scroll down to Tasha's comment. It'll tell you exactly what YT means. Rashad, Baby Rock said, sad that someone died, but the roosters came home to roost. We watched numerous Black leaders get cut down, and we had to deal with it, so it's hard to be sympathetic. 1985 said, Tasha, thanks. I've been hearing that the past couple of days and had no idea what it was. 1985, you didn't know what YT was? I be on here saying that all the time.
Yeah, that's the first time I heard it was from you.
Oh yeah, I say that all the time. Watis. That's just a cute little way of pronouncing it. Okay, yes, I'm with Rashad. No, I don't think people are celebrating that this man is unalive. But dot dot dot, I don't know. The man said it himself in the video. You know, sometimes it's casualties of war. So sometimes I guess he would. I forget. He was. What is the word I'm looking for? He was a casualty of his own
Yeah.
war.
Well, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, he died the, the way that he preached.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so it's like, all right, this is what you've been asking for. He literally said, when they were talking about gun violence, he said, there has to be casualties. There have to be deaths so that we can keep our Second Amendment right. So we can keep our God given right. He literally said people have to die by gun violence. And so it's poetic that's how he goes out.
1985 said, I was very angry when people celebrated George Floyd's passing. I wasn't giving them a pass either. Nobody should celebrate stuff like this. My problem, though, that I do have with the black community? We too damn forgiving. We too damn forgiving.
Well,
Boy,
that's what the pastor teaches. So
I know it's what he teaches, but we the only race of people I feel like that is the forgiving ones. These other races of people ain't out here forgiving.
we are. We the only ones that really teach that message.
Yeah.
We're the only ones that teach it. So I mean, and here's my point. I understand, right? So I can forgive my oppressor and I can love my oppressor, but that doesn't mean I got to be stupid enough to allow them to keep oppressing me.
Hello.
So I'm like, okay, cool. And I've had some conversations today with my Christian, church members. And I'm letting them know. So this is whenever that comes up, this is how you get them. Matthew 21, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's talking about how, God says forgive, God says love thine enemy and all these other things. And, fine. But no one ever addresses the fact that Jesus went into the temple
Mm-hmm.
and saw all of the people desecrating God's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
He still loved them. He forgave them, but he also kicked them out. And that's the part that people aren't talking about. Jesus can love, Jesus can forgive, but Jesus is a liberator, right?
Unfortunately,
Jesus,
we can't kick these people out, though.
say
I
it
hear
again.
you. I said, unfortunately, we can't kick these folks up out of here, though.
Yeah, but the overall message
I
is
got no.
that we don't have to continue to allow them to do these things to us. I
That's
can love you, but I'm going to love you at a distance. I can pray for you, but I'm going to pray for you at a distance. I'm not going to pray for you at my table. You're not sitting at my table. I'm
you.
going to pray for you over at your table.
1985 said his opinion option. I think you meant opinion. Option on Second Amendment is shared with most of the black people I know in the South. Everybody down here loves the guns. It's not a white thing, and that is why crime is on the rise, which is why that man want to send what is it, to these DC, Chicago.
Oh
If
yeah, he ain't sending nobody to Utah.
Atlanta crime rate keep going up, maybe not because our mayor's Republican. But 1985 said, I don't have no forgiveness for the oppressors, but a white person that was born in 2002 ain't got shit to do with the past. I still got beef with the remaining races, but damn. Okay.
So let's address that. All right. Because the white people always go to it was our ancestors, it's not us.
He
It's
just
our
went there.
ancestors, but it's not us. We're not our ancestors. Okay. Let's take that. If you want me to consider being, I guess, getting over the anger and the hurt, you want me to get over that. I can't get over it if you are still conducting the atrocities, right? You said, hey, he was born in 2002. But guess what? There are other people born in 2002 and earlier or later than that that are still killing people in churches. If there is anything that happens on a national level that have black people at the spotlight, if white people don't agree, all of the racists come out and they're threatening to kill, threatening to rape, threatening all of this stuff. The racists are still here. The racists are not dying off with the baby boomers. So I need us, and this is specifically for you, 85, I need us to stop pretending that just because these people never owned slaves, that they're good people. Exactly. Because they're trying to take us back so they can do it again. And the danger of him is that he has an army of idiots that are listening to his rhetoric that will do his work for him. So you can't say, no, we can't be mad at him because he's not doing anything. You're right. But he's telling all of his people to. He literally said that there should be actions and consequences that people are doing. He is inciting violence. That makes him just as deadly in 2025.
All right. And Mom said, I pray his soul went to heaven. Baby Barack said he was taken out by one of his own, which shows a lot of them are now realizing they were lied to and they ain't taking it well. Grab your popcorn and watch the shit show that's about to happen. Oh, yeah, because they don't take things lying down. They're going to get them good. They ain't about to take it lying down. Oh, no. Mama said KKK is still alive and killing. 1985 from slave master to KKK to skinhead. Tasha said he died in one of the whitest parts of America by a white person. Wherever he is right now, he is pleased that he wasn't in the hood and died at the hands of a ninja. Hi, mm-hmm. And baby laughing at you, Tasha. Probably is, but he don't know who took his ass out. They say, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. I mean,
go ahead and read. Go read 85's message real quick so I can respond.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
It's the last one.
Really? It's the last one. I don't see it.
It's right after Tasha's, right before Baby Rock.
Hold on. He said, I don't have. That's the only thing I got. I don't have no forgiveness.
Okay, I'll read it.
Okay.
He said, yeah, but we killing people too, bro. A black dude just stabbed a woman to death on a train the other day. More black actors, shooters are popping up too. It's a gun problem. It's a big problem. So here's the thing. When you talk about a lone wolf is never as deadly as an evil activist with a microphone. An evil activist with a microphone is much worse because he's affecting many more people. A lone wolf with a gun only affects the people that he targets. You can only target one person with one shot, but a microphone can target millions. There's a huge difference. When you talk about the dude that stabbed the woman, that wasn't racially motivated. That nigga was crazy.
And now Trump wants him to get the death penalty. Did you see that? I'm like,
yeah, I saw that. I saw it. So that dude was crazy. That dude was crazy. So once again, that is not apples to apples, not even a close comparison. So you can't say, yeah, we be killing people too, bro. The topic was not about killing people. I never brought killing people up. I'm talking about the racists.
Oh, but and if I talk about killing people, let's do it, because you know your friend over here watches a lot of Investigation Discovery, baby, and it be a lot of them on there. That white on white crime is serious out here in these streets that they don't want to tell you about.
And then everybody's passing out lies. I've had some conversations with some people that, you know, that are just spitting out just flat out lies. And when you know, everybody in your circle is spreading the lies, there is no room for the truth. So that's why they stay mad. They're uninformed. They are very uninformed. And they spit out these lies like they're facts. Everybody was like, oh, he was nice. Man, I saw this black woman. She was a pastor. And she was just like, yeah, everybody's so, excited about him dying. It's just wrong. He was a father. He was a husband. He was a good person. He was kind. I was like, no, he was not. He was not at all. And then they got all of the people in the amen section. I'm looking at all the black folks. I'm like, you niggas are stupid.
Boy, we let it jump on the bandwagon, don't we? 1985 said, I live in Southwest Atlanta. No white person is a threat to me down here. It's my people in my neighborhood. What I'm saying is it's bigger than race. It's guns everywhere.
It is 100% guns everywhere. It's 100. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me read Mama's comment and then I'll let you respond. Mama says 1985. So why do we make it an issue when it's a black person? Don't hear you saying white people kill too and just as much. And she's right, they do.
They kill more. There's not just as much. They kill more than we do, but we are highlighted the most. That's the difference.
Why you
That's
think
the difference.
Why you think that is?
Because they control the media.
Yeah, they got to show us looking crazy, which is why these other races of people come here and think that black people are beneath them, because that's what they see.
100%.
Respond back to 1985. And then we're going to do some final thoughts.
It's not the guns. It's not the guns killing us. Oh, no. So why we have to wait? No. I live in Southwest Atlanta. No white person is a threat. Well, you have to understand, we are not talking about you and your specific situation. We are talking about a national issue. Yes, it's also an issue with black people in these predominantly black areas that are also killing people. But you have to remember that is a ramification of something else that was planted by them as well. They are at the root of everything evil in America. And so we always take the attention off of them and go back to, yeah, but what about black on black? Well, black on black wasn't ever a thing until they made it a thing. We weren't killing each other in the 70s. Everybody was out partying and getting high. And then the 80s came and they brought crack. And then they built those prisons in the 90s. And that's where all of our foundation just fell off. And anytime that we just leave it to, well, there's people in my area that I'm scared of. Yes, that's true. But that is an effect. That is not a cause. And if you're going to get upset, if you're going to get mad, yes, you can definitely be mad at the person that's right there because he's right there. But you have to understand that was not his fault. And everybody keeps talking about, yeah, you got to put responsibility on the people. I completely understand that. But you also got to find the root cause if you ever want to fix that. So everybody's always talking about fixing it. Well, you can't fix it until you identify where the problem came from. Start there. The fact that all of these black mayors that are in these cities where the crime is going down, the reason the crime is going down is because they've created community events. They've created after school programs. They've created resources. But when you have all of these Republican leaders that are siphoning the resources away from the areas, there's nothing else to do. So if you want to get mad about Atlanta, you go and you talk to your council reps, talk to your state reps, talk to the judges, talk to the people that have the power. Give these young kids an option other than what is directly in front of them.
Yeah, being in these streets. Yep. Mr. Awesome.
Take all of these trash ass TV shows out of Atlanta.
Get rid
Everybody's talking about strip clubs.
News Network.
That's what y'all hold it.
Malcolm said the real possibility, there is a real possibility they send troops to Birmingham. I thought Birmingham's crime rate was down low. Baby Rock said, it's not the gun killing us, it's the ninjas pulling the trigger are the ones killing us. Gun control means nothing if we don't know how to love ourselves and each other. Tasha said Charlie is an example of a person who has lived his entire life saying whatever he wants without
consequences. You goddamn right.
And Tristan on camera said Charlie Kirk is a Christian white nationalist, period. He was not a patriot. Um,
100%.
in 1985 said, Mama, it's an issue with every race of all people. Access is the issue. No race of people is holier than another. Crazy people come in all colors, and if they have access to guns, they'll kill. Tristan said was a Christian white nationalist. We got you, Christian. 1985 said, we used to say fake tits and surgery was white people ish. No, they just had access. Now that it's more affordable, I'm seeing BBLs everywhere. It's access, not color change legislation. And Tasha said, I don't trust no white people with a gun in Texas or Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, or Mississippi. Oh, we pack around here, Tasha. They pack and we pack too.
So here's the deal. No one wants violence that looks like you and me. We don't want violence. So whenever you see someone that's celebrating something like this, it's because of the fact that they are not listening to our desire to just be at peace. Black people are the most forgiving people in the history of the face of the earth. We're the most forgiving people. We will forgive you 1,000,000 times if you leave us alone. They don't want to leave us alone. Once again, the dude that shot him was probably white, and yet all of these racist individuals are threatening HBCUs. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
And then you have other Black people, like you said, chastising other Black people for voicing their opinions. And everybody has the right to their opinion. Yes, sad that the man is unalive. But again, he even said sometimes casualties of war. So I'm just like, maybe he was his own casualty of his own war. 1985 said people did the same thing to George Floyd. When he died, people were pulling up his record and past crimes and saying he deserved it, just like Kirk. Okay, that's what they do when it comes to us. They always gonna pull up our past, which
It's
is why
always a double standard.
his past.
I said that point. It's a double standard. When it was George Floyd and we were trying to talk about how unjust his death was, I'd say 8 out of 10 of the Caucasians that I talked to, they just immediately went to his criminal record. They immediately went to his past. And now I'm seeing these same individuals praying for, what has just recently happened. And if anyone mentions all of the evil rhetoric that he's been spewing, now it's like, oh, the first thing you do is go pull up his past. A man just died. I mean, we're confused. We are confused because every time we think that we are playing the same game that you guys want us to play, you change the rules. And nobody talks about the fact that they switch with the wind.
Yeah.
They're never had. Donald Trump didn't say anything to the Democratic woman and her husband and the dog that died. He didn't say one word. Tell me why we are at half mast, half staff. What the flag?
Yeah.
He was not a soldier. He wasn't even an elected official. He's an influencer. And yet they've dropped the flag for him.
What up, FA?
What up?
How you been, sir?
I've been
We are talking about the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Dr. Umar Johnson is shaming the Black community for celebrating the unaliving of Charlie Kirk, saying it's unacceptable for us to be celebrating. Tristan said the FBI released a photo of the suspect. Mama said 1985 said, why does your problem always lead back to a Black woman, huh? And Tasha said that they had someone in, yeah, Mama said that. She said, why does this problem always lead back to a Black woman? When did he say something
I have
about
no idea.
Okay. Tasha said they had someone in cuffs after it happened, then released a photo of someone else today. Baby
Yeah.
Mariah, Yeah, 1985. It's always about access because guns are illegal in New York and ninjas die daily from gunplay. The laws don't matter to a criminal, so we need to learn self love instead of the laws. FA, what are your thoughts and feelings on this?
And Dr. Umar Johnson's position comment.
No, you don't have to do his position, but do you feel like we should not be this should not be something that is celebrated?
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. It shouldn't be celebrated. It
That's
shouldn't
Um
the
be
sensible
celebrated.
answer. The sensible answer is no, don't celebrate. But I'm not going to vilify anybody for feeling the way that they feel.
I'm definitely gonna vilify him if it's in connection with celebration of his assassination. Yeah, I think that I mean, I just jumped in, but I already know. I feel I know your position, and it's the black people just tired of taking the higher road,
mhm.
and I kind of feel like that's what he was. I probably said before I got on, but I'm not gonna say two wrongs don't make a right, but I will say this: life and death should have nothing to do with someone's political views,
100%.
and I think it's kind of disgusting because I was extremely, and I'm probably still taking it personal with my level of disgust with Vivica Fox when she celebrated when Kevin Samuels died. So it kind of just makes me it connected me with that. Like, how you going to celebrate the death of someone just because they had a different view? That's what's crazy. Just a different view. Now, views can turn into actions then that can turn into something different where you can possibly celebrate a death of someone and it be permissible. But at this stage where he died, I don't, his views was just views, and I don't think I think it's kind of disturbing if you like rejoice in that.
So let me reiterate. As soon as I saw it, it was a disgusting scenario that occurred. And I understood the ramifications of what had just happened. So the first thing that I put on my page was even though I don't like him,
Mm,
no one deserves to die over their view of politics.
mm,
That is not the direction that we need to go. I'll
yeah.
also be honest. I to some degree, I think he actually may have been part of a bigger plot, to be honest with you. I believe, and I'll never say this outside of this conversation, but I believe that someone maybe potentially had him taken out because they knew that this was going to be, a catalyst to
Mm,
what certain people are trying to enact in our country. But that's neither here or there. We don't celebrate, all right? But at the end of the day, my emotional tie to this is different from your emotional tie. It's different from
yeah.
Dee Dee's and everybody else's. Everybody has different trigger points. And I can understand why some people are feeling the way that they're feeling. I am not going to vilify. I spoke my part. I spoke up against it. But to say, oh, black people, we gotta, we always no, no, no. It was not right. It's probably going to lead to them being angry even more because they see us celebrating. So it's not a good thing to do. But at the end of the day, it is just almost impossible for us to get slapped in the face time after time after time after time and then saying, all right, now straighten up and get back in line. That's
I think
hard.
I think it's a different. I agree. I do think it's hard. I mean, I understand that position, but I guess um, where I'm at, my stage in life now is it's going to be hard for me to ever. I'm not saying you condoning it because you're not, but I'm saying we're gonna have the people who have to continue to point out the wrong when we do it. It's one,
Yeah,
it just always, you know what I mean?
yeah.
No matter how often they do it and it doesn't get pointed out, what they do to me has nothing to do with our moral code and standard. You know what I mean? So Interestingly enough, though, I didn't know much about this dude. I seen a couple of his videos and shorts and clips, and I used to like a lot of the stuff that he would say. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, and then
I
I
knew I knew you
remember.
were gonna say it. I knew
Oh,
you were
No,
gonna say
what?
that.
no. Listen. Let me finish. Let me finish because, mind you, qualify my statement. I said I don't know a lot about him, and I
Right.
seen a few of his shorts, and I seen a few of his little clips, and some of the things that he would say, I would agree with his position. What I will say is, I also then I kind of. I didn't know he was a conservative at the time, or not that it matters, but I didn't know his political position, which can motivate his position, you know what I mean? It may change how I receive what he's saying. But I started to see him say some stuff that I thought was like borderline racist and kind of like,
Okay.
okay, I was like, "Man, this is not aligning with what I thought of him
Yep.
initially from the first few views.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Yep.
and I never dove into anything more than that. Like I stopped
Yep.
seeing it. So I
Yep.
am not, so when I'm hearing the Democrats, or well, not the, what's his name? Lemon. What's the lemon dude? The reporter dude.
John
John
Lemon.
Lemon.
I see him on my timeline interviewing people and asking what's his thoughts and so on, woody woody woo. I'm assuming he represents the position of the Democrats because he keeps asking, like, he's the conservative, and what is your position on his political views, which I think is really kind of tasteless at this point, but it made me want to look into a lot of the people were saying, oh, he made a lot of racist comments. He made a lot of sexist comments. He made a lot of, and I was like, oh, I don't know. Most people that don't believe in Christianity misinterpret the Bible as sexist all the time. So I'm not 100% sure why he's saying that. But the racist part, I was interested because I do remember him saying something that I was remember kind of scratching my head like, I don't know if
Yeah.
I agree with that. So
Yeah.
I wish that if one of y'all know of a video or a short that he kind of combined some of the things he
Uh,
Oh,
says
don't worry
that
I
about
that
it.
was
if,
I
send it
got you,
to me,
brother.
please.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't even worry about it
Rashad,
because
Rashad, while you're pulling that up, I'm gonna read these comments, okay?
I'll send it to him afterwards. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I got some stuff too I can play real quick that Amanda Seals had said. Anyway, Tasha said, like I said, niggas die every day, B. Y'all be all right. Um
Oh,
19
damn.
Umar is shaming. He's been scamming the black community for years. We can neither confirm nor deny that about Dr. Umar Johnson. Uh Baby Barack said he got what he had coming, period. Life will go on.
Oh,
No
that's fucked
about
up.
ass over here.
Did the Dr. King get what he had coming to him? I mean, you got to remember, for every side, there's another side that feels the opposite. And whether I agree with that side being right or wrong, they feel, and I'm highlighting feelings, that they're just as right in how they feel as we feel about how we believe that the Dr. King was right. So to say he got what he deserved, well, there's some white folks in certain positive place that felt like Dr. King got what he deserved. So I think that's that rhetoric that is dangerous. You know what I mean? Whether you believe, I mean, that he deserved death. I don't know. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. There are some people that I might lean towards that position. Like, yeah, he got what he was coming. I don't think he's one of the ones that fit that bill. I
Mm.
think of people like mass genocide and people that kill millions of people and people that make
Well,
people suffer and so on and so forth as deserving of more of that type of position. Not a dude who he's a nationalist. I'm assuming what I mean, a
yeah.
white
Well,
nationalist and Christian and so I don't think that fits.
Hold on.
here's
Hold on, Rashad. I know you want to respond, but we got 1,000 comments. Hold on 1 second. I know you want to respond. Tristan said, Baby Barack, respectfully disagree. Saying folks need to learn self love is only surface level. Dig deeper. This is legislation intersected with white supremacy, bad lawmakers. 1985 said to you, Mama, I was just giving an example of access. Men are getting fake beards and hairline surgeries too, not just about women. Uh, okay. I see where Mama said where he tied into women. Okay. Mama said he was referring. Okay. I got it. What up, OC? 1985 said, yeah, black women definitely celebrated Kevin Samuels dying. Tristan said some things aren't debatable. Kirk's views were not political. And Tasha said Trump. And Mama said
What?
he was a racist. Go look at some of the videos. And Tasha said he was definitely a pawn. And it's sad that the people he distrusted the most would have been better allies than the hateful party that represented him. Tristan said, "What did he essentially agree with Kurt?" And I think he's talking to you, Fa, and I'll let you respond. Hey, super bad. And then Mama said,
Hmm.
"Here we go. Black people always gotta be the bigger person. Always. Why? What up, super bad?
Because we're righteous people. That's why we should. That's why.
Hold on, Fa. Hold on, Fa. 1985. He definitely said borderline racist stuff. Some black people say eye to eye with him because up until about 20 years ago, black people were conservative, but nobody's agreeing with that racist stuff. Hell no.
Most black people still conservative, but go ahead.
Mama said he
They won't admit it, but they are.
have, should not have a holiday, doesn't deserve it. And Tristan said, no, do not compare Kirk to MLK tomatoes. Boo. Tasha said Kirk is a peon compared to Dr. King. He doesn't deserve that comparison. And Super Pat,
Sure he
I
does.
compare him with Dr. King. Now he didn't deserve violence. Kirk, he was set up by the right. And Mama said he said some people will have to die so we can have Second Amendment rights. And Super Pat said HBCUs getting death threats. Like Rashad saying HBCUs are now at jeopardy. All right, Rashad, I want you to respond to what was said, and then Fa, I want you to answer the question because I think you already kind of did answer the question about the views about Kirk. You said you like some of his views, but then you started to dive deeper into his videos and realize
Mm.
that racist stuff. But Rashad, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So let me ask this, Tristan. Let me know if you want to jump in and add this conversation. Tristan was a news broadcaster in a couple of different markets. He just recently took another position
Hey,
somewhere else. But
welcome to come on the chat.
well, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Tristan, let me know if you want to jump in, and if you do, then I'll get out. Let me say this to Hefe because I knew you were going to say that. People that aren't familiar with him,
Oh, hold on. Going to say what?
that you kind of agreed with some of the videos that you saw.
Okay,
And-
okay, okay.
yeah. I knew that was going to be the thing because my nephew actually hit me up yesterday when it happened, and he was like, "What do you think?" And so I was like, "Man, you know, I always start the same way. I don't like him, but he
Hmm.
didn't deserve that.
Right.
Yes, he was a father. You know, yes, he was a husband. He was 31 years old. No
And he
one
was a
deserves to
Christian.
be. I mean, when people throw Christian around, I really don't even know what their definition. We have two different definitions, right? Because we preach on Jesus, they preach on God, right? And
Fair,
so,
fair, fair enough. Fair enough, and I think me and you would agree on that. I guess I was just kind of, without diving into it too deep, I was just saying
okay, fair
surface
enough.
level. He
Yeah,
claimed to be a Christian. That's all.
yeah, plain. But and here's another thing. Even I really pulled that out of it because people use that this person is a Christian or that person is a Christian to justify evil acts. Nobody
Oh
ever
no.
says that about people that are doing great stuff. Nobody ever brings, okay, what's going on, brother?
What's good, everybody? How y'all doing?
What's up?
Oh,
What's
man,
up? What's up?
look.
I gotta
And
step
so,
outside for this one.
oh, yeah.
Uh
So, hey, I'll go ahead and bow out and I'll let you and Hefe go because I know exactly where this is going to go because I know why Hefe is saying what he's saying and I know why you're asking about it. And so I'll just let y'all have a conversation. Is Hefe still on?
Yeah, I'm here.
You can
yeah,
bring five people on, four
You
people
yeah,
can
on
bring
here. I didn't know that.
four. Yeah, yeah. You ain't gotta
yeah.
go nowhere.
You can stay.
All right, please.
All
All
right.
right. So
Um,
Tristan, go ahead
well,
and ask me a
yeah,
question.
yeah.
I just want to know what specific views that Kirk had that they agreed with essentially.
Well, like I said, the limited videos that I did see, one, he was
Hmm.
speaking about the LBGT community, and
Yep,
and
I know it's
and I
coming.
definitely agree with that one wholeheartedly.
Okay.
Um, and his doctrine on children and just school and so on and so forth. So that was one that I know I can point to right away. Actually, it was like one more, but I think it was more about, might have been about abortion because I think my position as I've gotten older is starting to shift on abortion. It's not that I'm 100% pro life, but I'm not pro choice anymore like I used to be. You know what I mean? I'm not in agreement with women being able to people being able to take a life whenever they feel like it for any reason. I believe that the termination of a child should be I'm leaning towards, well, no, I'm pretty much arrived to the termination of a child should only be done under very certain circumstances, like medical, like obviously the death of the mom could be potential or rape or obviously what's the other one, incest. Those like few reasons. I've kind of arrived at that being the only acceptable reasons for abortion. Um, so I was leaning towards some of the agreements of me leaving pro-choice and kind of aligning with not I'm not actually pro-life either because I don't agree with them either, but kind of trending in that
So
direction. So those
you're a
two things.
centrist, pretty much.
I don't know what that means, but if it's something what I just said, then sure.
Like you're in the middle, but you're leaning towards conservatism.
Mm, yeah. Well, 'cause if I have to pick one, there's more that I agree with, and with the conservative pro-life position. How about that?
Okay.
And I think
Um,
most people do, honestly. But go ahead.
I just think I'm not gonna say I think Charlie Kirk, as I've said before, is a white supremacist, Christian nationalist. He's not a
Hmm.
true patriot. His views are dangerous, and I said earlier in the comments, some things are just not worth debating about, and his views were not political. He was literally riling up young people to vote against their own interests.
Mm-mm.
And he did not have anything positive to say anything about our people,
Sure.
about what we do. He did not, he contributed to our trials and tribulations.
Hmm.
Um, as far as what happened to him, it is terrible what happened to him. No one should get shot. But my empathy meter has run dry when it comes to Mr. Kirk because he did not have empathy for us
Mm.
as a people.
Okay.
Neither did he even want empathy. He said empathy was a made up word
He did.
for progressives. He said Dr. King what was a terrible person. He said George Floyd died from fentanyl overdose. The list can go on and on. He has a list. I mean, you can Google the things that he said and done and look at the articles.
Right.
Um, his fruit, like the chickens came to coop, and his fruit was tainted. If he's the tree, look at the fruit that he's produced. It's none good, nothing good, nothing good
You
for our
would.
people, nothing good to move forward as a country, as a nation. Nothing good.
So I can agree with the points you just made. What do
Hmm.
you disagree with the points that I agree with?
As far as him being a Christian,
No. You said it started off with you asking me what were the few videos that you
hmm
did agree with, and then I said, well, I think I seen two videos. One
right,
was
right, right.
more on um pro-life and pro-choice, and the other one was about the indoctrination of the LGBT community, in school and children
Got it.
and so on and so
Got it.
forth.
Got it. Respectfully, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Hefe.
Hefe? Hefe?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Boss in Spanish. Okay. Res respectfully, Hefe, I disagree. I am a straight black man in this nation.
Okay.
However, when I say Black Lives Matter, I mean all of them. I mean even the gays, the days, and the trans. They should be included when we say Black Lives Matter. So this whole idea of indoctrination from the LGBTQ community, I don't believe it
So what does
because
matter mean?
say that again.
What does matter mean? Because I thought Black Lives Matter meant like the matter meant like they have a right to exist, not necessarily
Exactly.
Right, right. So I would agree with that. But I
Hmm.
think you're using matter in a sense of we should they should be included in what, even if we don't share the same beliefs, we should be forced to be educated on them, on
The
that
same way that
lifestyle,
we
on
want,
that
the same
lifestyle.
way that we want people to be educated on us as a people,
Right,
you know,
right.
as black people, we should have that same courtesy for people who intersect in those lines of LGBTQ and stuff like that. That's just the only part that I'm going to have to
I
disagree
get
with
you.
you on that, you
Okay,
know.
okay, okay.
I respectfully disagree.
Sure, sure.
And the abortion thing, I'm not a woman. I can't tell a woman what to do with her body. You know, the only thing that I can do is support a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Are you a
So
Christian?
absolutely,
Okay, okay.
absolutely.
Are you called to?
Christian FA,
Right.
I got some comments. Let me read them.
Sure.
Baby Barack said the laws are just that, a law. It's not the reason why Raheem decides to pick up a gun and rob your ass. We were taught to hate each other, and it's on us, not the laws, to make us change. 1985 said black people being liberal and pro-gay and pro-abortion is new. We were conservative. That's why I
Very
said
much so.
that.
Black people were conservative. Oh, black
No,
people
no,
are
black people
conservative until
still
they meet,
conservative.
until they see the racism that the GOP provides, and so that
Sure.
way we lean more towards progressivism and liberalism because of that racism that's in the conservative side. So yeah, I mean, if we didn't get the racism from the GOP and from Republicans and whatnot, yeah, black folks would be conservative. But because of the, you know, the trials and tribulations that we go through, we tend to vote towards the person or the group that gives us that best chance of survival.
Okay.
And Mama said, as Christians, we are supposed to love everyone, regardless of their sexual preference.
Yeah, criticism and correction is love. You don't love your child and let him do whatever he want, and then says, I love my child so much that I'm gonna let him do whatever he wants." That's not how that works. Love includes correction, edification, and discipline. Right? That includes it.
Thank
A
you for
person
making
doesn't love you if
love
they let you do
real.
whatever you want. Actually, if a person really doesn't love you, if they say you can do whatever you want no matter what, that actually doesn't love you. That's that. And I hate to. That's that fluff, in my opinion. That the Democrats truly lose. This is what the black people won't really voice, because I agree with my man. What's your name, brother?
Tristan.
I agree with Tristan where he says that the black people are naturally have conservative views, but it was filled with racism, so it's kind of hard for black people to solidify themselves with that side. Because I agree with that. That's how I am.
Hmm.
And they lean towards the Democrats because they appear to not be as racist. And they at least have speaking points of progression, so they're going to lean towards that. I agree with that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I feel you on that, brother.
Cool.
Um,
Cool.
What? FA, you agree with somebody? I can't believe it.
agree,
Um,
man. People
ni-
all the time.
1985 said, Tristan, we lean more towards liberalism because it was a trauma bond. We were historically against that
Yeah,
and
I agree.
our kids around it, not saying that our lives don't matter because they do. And Mama said, your sin is no less than theirs. But
True.
1985, but historically, we never wanted it in the church or around the kids.
I agree. And that's what I lost my point, but that's what I was saying. I was bringing it back to love. And I was saying, the Democrat, to me, that sounds like that Democrat, the tolerance. Love is not tolerant of everything. And that's how I think they misuse and weaponize the word love. When they say, well, if you love me, you'll let me do anything and you'll allow me to do everything. And that's love is not tolerant of everything. Okay. And that's where I push back on that when they say, well, well, even you, brother, when you just said, well, I'm not a woman, right? So I can't tell a woman what. Sure, I can. I'm not a child, but I can tell a child what to do too. You know what I mean? Like, I think those are like, I listen. I identify with what you're saying. I used to
Hmm.
kind of feel that way. You know what I'm saying? But I kind
Hmm.
of lean more to where you don't have to always be uh something that you can have criticism to or correction. Jesus wasn't a woman either. You know what I'm saying? Jesus wasn't a woman either, but he taught all of us stuff. You know what I mean? If I listen to liberals, they'll say, you're supposed to love everyone. And no, listen, that's not love. That's not love. I just don't like how they hijacked the word love and made it weak and tolerant of everything. They just kind of made the word wrong. They falsified the word.
May I intersect if that's all right?
Yeah, of course.
But before I say anything else, I do want to establish that I do not identify as a Democrat or a liberal or anything like that. I view myself as, dare I say, a black radical.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay.
and if that means I will be critical of both sides if necessary.
Oh, man.
Um, so
That's
I don't
great.
always agree with what the Democratic Party always does. I sometimes believe that black people need to leave both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. We live in a two-party state. Um, as far as the comments about love, I will plant a seed and challenge your thinking on that, because it's not about letting them do whatever they want. It's more so acceptance, and that's what marginalized communities want. They want acceptance. They just want to be acknowledged that they exist. So if I have a gay son, it
Yeah.
will behoove me to show them the same love that my parents showed me growing up as a straight kid. You know what I'm saying?
But I think it's a
So
fine line between, this is where it always comes down to. It's a
what's up?
fine line, but I agree with you, brother. I
Hmm.
think you are, but you're diluting the line. You're saying love is because I'm not tolerant of a behavior
Not
means
tolerant,
that,
accepting.
yeah,
I think there's a
okay, yeah,
difference
yeah,
between
accepting. Yeah,
tolerant
yeah.
and being accepting.
I agree. You're right. That's the proper word. Because I'm not accepting of a behavior means that I'm going to treat a person inhumanely. That's not equivalent to each other, right? I can love you and treat you fairly and meet you as a human being and all of those things and disagree and be adamantly against your life decisions or your choices. It's like me telling you this. Back in the day, how about this? Back in the day, in the black community, drug dealers and pimps were shamed in our community. They wouldn't even allow their own family in the house if they found out that they were drug dealers and pimps and so on and so forth. This is what it sounds like to me you're saying. Well, listen, everybody has a right to exist. And they're drug dealers and they're pimps, and you should love them and accept them and bring them into your home and treat them exactly the same, no matter if you feel like it violates your moral compass. And that's why I say, no, you don't have to accept something that you believe is wrong. You should always treat people correctly, just like how I'm saying this Kurt guy, I forgot his name, Charlie Kirk. Yeah,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't agree with some of the things he said because I seen one racist thing and I was like, oh, I don't know about this. I need to do more research. But
Hmm.
I'm still going to say you should treat him like a human being and he shouldn't be killed. But that, so you can treat someone and believe they should have the right of being treated properly like a human being, but also not agree with them at all, completely with their life choices, right? And that's how I feel about the LGBTQ.
I respectfully disagree, because if I may ask this,
Sure.
do you have any friends or family in the LGBTQ community?
Yes.
When was the last time you asked them, why did you choose to be gay? Because some folks will say it is not a choice.
Sure. I believe that too. I believe it's not a choice.
But to say they choose that in a lifestyle,
No, I'm saying they choose. Well, they choose to act on their desires. I'm not saying that they choose to be attracted to the same sex. I'm not saying that. I think that they can be naturally attracted to the same sex. I am
Okay,
in, and
okay.
I share that position. They still choose to do it though. You know what I'm saying? They still choose to do it. So it's still a choice. They act. is a choice, not the desire. I'm not arguing the desire. I'm
Hmm.
arguing the act.
So how come they can't do what us heterosexual people do,
Because
if I may ask?
because my God tells me you are not supposed to.
But my God told me to love everyone,
Yeah,
despite the
yeah,
differences.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, and I do love them. You're right. I agree. My God told me to love them too. My God told me if you love them, you will, but you will correct them. And it's something called right. It's something called in my God in my book. It says judge righteously. So to judge righteously, you still have to provide edification and correction, and still love them through it. But that doesn't mean be tolerant of it.
I hear your views and I respect them. I think for both of us, we're just going to have to be in a agree to disagree
That's
situation,
fine. Fair.
and that is perfectly fine. I'm going to agree to disagree because um, I have,
Do you allow your children to do stuff you don't? Do you have children?
unfortunately, I do not yet.
Okay, when do you plan to have one? Well, whenever you
Absolutely.
decide. Okay, so I believe we can meet at a common ground, and
Hmm.
I want you to wrestle with this because if you love your child, are you going to
Hmm.
allow your child to do whatever he wants to do, even if you believe it will it will lead to his demise? Out of love, you're going to allow him to do it because that's what he wants to do.
When we say do whatever the child wants, are we equating the same way we applied LGBTQ to your earlier analogy to pimps and gangs and drug dealers back in the day? Because I think that's a
I'm
false
not
equivalency.
necessarily. I'm not. I'm not necessarily equivalent it to that, but I'm equivalent it to right and wrong. Just this idea of what you believe is right, what you believe of what is wrong. Now, how about this? Do you believe anything is wrong?
Hold on, because
Pe-
1985 said if my son had a gay male teacher, I would pull him out that class. Doesn't mean I don't have love for the teacher. I just don't want the influence on my kid.
I
Different
agree with
thing.
that, bro. I agree with
Okay.
that.
He's just a gay teacher. He's not trying to turn your kid gay, but
I
I
mean, you never
guess
know. But listen, you just said, yeah. Hold on, brother. But that's why I want to keep you consistent because you said Charlie Kirk wasn't just having political views; he was inciting things, right? And
he
who
was inciting. I would say he was inciting violence. It may have not been with a weapon, but he
uh,
was inciting this type of violence towards us.
sure
I can't get down with that.
does that LGBTQ lifestyle? Does any of the people that participate in that lifestyle influence people to join, or does any of them do it?
I will say that there are. It would be wrong of me to say, are there bad faith actors in the LGBTQ community? Yes, just as much as there are bad faith actors in the heterosexual community.
So since we can acknowledge that there are some that do that, what's wrong with that man wanting to play it safe in the comments that say I don't want my child to be around it because I don't want to leave it to chance that he may not be a bad faith actor or whatever, however you just said that.
It's painting a broad brush.
Sure, sure, and sometimes a broad brush is necessary when the conviction in your heart is views it as that serious, right? So what if I view it that serious, where even a little bit to me is a big deal? You see what I mean? Like I don't want to take the chance at all. What I'm saying is, I understand this dude. I also
Hmm.
understand. I also understand. I'm gonna make it personal. My daughter is in the
Okay.
fifth grade right now, and on the first day of
Hmm.
school, it's a fucking the teacher is a transgender male, meaning like she's a male that converted to being a woman, right? And the first thing
Transgender man or transgender woman?
I said transgender male. I thought it was called a transgender male, meaning
Okay, so
oh
okay,
transgender woman.
she was female at birth and then transitioned
No,
to
the other
male.
way. She was male
Male
at birth.
and then transition.
Male at birth transitioned into female. Transgender
Sure.
woman.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a
Okay.
transgender
Okay.
woman. So as
That's what
opposed
I
to,
thought.
a natural woman, it's
Okay.
a transgender woman.
Got you. So she was a transgender woman, and it's funny because my mother, who's a baby boomer, the first thing she said was, "That's a man." We getting her up out of that class. It's funny. That's why I related to the dude, right? Because it was the first day of school. And Said, well, this is the class she grew up with. These students are the same students that she's had from pre-K three. So I don't want to take her out because of that. But what I will do is I'm going to teach my child. Listen, that is a man. I don't want you to confuse that. But if that man asks you to address her as Miss, then address him as her or Miss or she or whatever. You know what I mean? Because to me, it ain't that deep. You know what I mean? If you want it, but it is that deep. If you, well, it is that deep. If you say when you want to say that I am wrong for teaching that. No, that is man. But you can respect how they identify and call them what they want, what they want to be called. But you're not going to then criticize me for raising my child in truth. You understand?
I'm trying to lean with you, but I truly believe this is going to be something where we can say I agree to disagree with you, sir.
Fair enough.
Because if
Fair
if
enough.
if if my if and when I have a child and they have a transgender teacher, who cares? They're not
Well,
trying to, and they're teaching
sane people care.
math, reading, and arithmetic. They're not trying to teach you anything else. Now, if I have a child who is, who has, some type of, who has questions about their gender identity, then they have an example of who they can reach out to. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I see now, and and we can agree to disagree after this one last thing. I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
the difference. The difference is this. My belief leans me to believe that if I don't do anything, I'm
Hmm.
condemning my child to uh hell, for lack of better words. So because I don't want that so badly, is the reason why it matters to me. Now, I'm not
Hmm.
necessarily talking about transgenderism in itself. I'm just talking
Hmm.
about the lifestyle of the LGBTQ, right,
Hmm.
as a whole,
Hmm.
right? So,
Hmm.
because my belief system tells me if they don't separate from um, from that lifestyle, that it can condemn them to eternal damnation. That's so damning to me that it's like, oh man, I don't want that to happen. I need to try to my best to find a constructive way to get them to possibly see where that is not conducive. That's
So,
all.
Okay.
so Tristan, let me jump in real quick. So
Sure, sure, sure.
I got a question for you, Fa. Where
I
in the
answer, I
Bible?
promise.
Huh?
So I got to answer, I promise. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm saying, I'm saying. So where in the
I
Bible
want the
does
people to
it
see me.
say,
Go ahead.
man, look at you, bro, man, hold up.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's
Hey,
up?
man, you over there in this medium shirt and all yoked up and
Don't pay
everything.
me
I
no mind. Don't pay me no mind. Drinking Ciroc. Go
see you.
ahead.
Look,
Early in the morning.
so what part of the early in the morning, bro? It's just 3 o'clock.
Oh, I just woke up.
Either way,
I get
okay,
off at 6 in the morning. But go ahead.
okay, all right. So what part of the Bible condemns those that are part of this community to hell? That's what I'm curious about.
Well, in Leviticus and First in Corinthians, I can if I can get off this, I can pull up the specific verses. But it
Sure.
speaks of um, and maybe condemn them to hell was the wrong choice of words. That was probably my
Okay.
interpretation. But it
Okay.
says um, eternal damnation. You know what I
So
mean? So it speaks on eternal damnation. So I kind of said condemns them to hell, and maybe that shouldn't. I don't want to misquote God's words, but I
fair.
take that as the same. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
So, but at
But it's
the end of the
important to
day,
be accurate, so I stand corrected.
okay, fair enough. But if you look at it as according to God's word, right, then it would be
Mhm.
considered a sin, right? And the
Yeah,
wages of sin is what?
it's death. It's death.
It's
But
death.
all sin are not punishable the same. But
So,
yes,
but that's death. That's not necessarily, going to hell. So I was just curious
yeah,
about about
yeah.
where you got the thought process is that is something within the Bible that's punishable by hell, because I don't think the Bible says that at all.
Well, all sin is all sin leads to death, right? But certain sin, but unrepentant, certain unrepentant sins lead you to hell.
Well,
You
okay.
understand the difference?
Well, I mean, I hear that, but you have to remember that you can't lose salvation. Number one, you can't.
Well, everybody don't believe that, but that's neither here nor I get
So
you.
if
All Christians don't believe that.
so, Romans 10:9 and 10,
That's
right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
um, confess your heart, confess your mouth, believe in your heart that Jesus was
Right.
raised from the dead. Then you shall be saved, right? So once you are
Sure.
saved, every and unless you can find a priority list in the Bible that says this sin is over this one and this is over that one, like I said,
Right.
the sin is sin, right?
No, that's not
Sin is
true.
sin.
But go ahead.
Okay,
That's not true.
so it's so what?
I can give you a list of one.
Okay, so give me the list.
Blasphemy of the Holy Spirit is
Well, okay, yeah,
unforgivable.
unless
It's
you turning
unforgivable.
against God, yeah, blast. If you're turning against God, that's yes, okay, that's a different
Okay,
thing.
well, he's quantifying sin. So,
Okay,
you know
but
what
fair
I'm
enough.
saying?
But living an alternative lifestyle does not mean that they don't have a belief in God.
I never said that.
I second.
So,
I don't
so
care
once,
about your belief, though. That doesn't get belief in God don't get you into heaven.
well,
That's
confessing with
not
your
you
mouth
taking it.
and believing in your heart. Well, yes, it
No,
does.
belief
That's
of God. Belief of God, meaning
okay.
like I believe God exists. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? It does
Okay.
not get me into heaven. See what
So,
I'm
okay.
saying?
So let me ask you this: are you saying that people that are part of that lifestyle cannot go to heaven?
This is what I will say. That's a good
Okay.
question. I'm
Okay.
not. I this is scripture gets kind of dicey, but this is what I will say is when it comes to this, I got scriptures that I believe I can point to that says yes, they can't go to heaven. Then I got scriptures that says um that makes me lean towards all sin is forgivable, except one, right?
Yeah.
Where I kind of what the position I kind of hold, at least in my faith, in my understanding of my faith right now is unrepentance of sin. True belief changes behavior. So
Okay.
when they say I'm a Christian, I don't care what you say. I care what your life shows, right? So it'll show by your works, right? And you
Maybe.
can struggle with listen, you can struggle with sin, just like I do too. I'm different from an LGBTQ community
Sure.
participator, right?
Sure.
So I'm not I fall short and I'm still struggling with all kind of stuff. But they talk about infidelity, they talk about lust, they talk about all kind of stuff. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So don't confuse me thinking I'm on a higher moral standard at
All
all.
right.
But my fundamental belief right now is unrepentance of sin doesn't get you a ticket into heaven. That's my belief.
So, well, you got to also remember that there are varying stages of spiritual growth and belief as well,
100%,
right?
100%,
And so,
100%.
if you have an individual that is new to the faith
Right.
that has been brought to the understanding that if you believe with your heart or confess with your mouth and believe with your heart that you should be saved. And so if they believe and they confess that,
They don't
they are
believe.
sinners, then they, huh?
But listen, to believe is to believe in what's in the book, not just believe that Jesus is the Son of God. You also have to
Right.
believe in the teachings of Jesus, right?
Well,
And
no,
be and
so
they
here's the
don't
thing.
believe in the teachings of Jesus. They don't. Because
So,
if you
what,
say my lifestyle, there's nothing wrong with my see, there are LGBT Christians that converted, right? See, those are the ones that believed that the lifestyle they were living was wrong. Now, and then they were struggling, to get into a different lifestyle. Those are what I would call a Christian. A person who says they're a Christian, but does not believe the lifestyle that they live is something that they shouldn't live is not actually a Christian. They don't actually believe in what they say they confess to. Because to confess to it is to believe everything that's in there, just not the parts you like, or just not the parts you don't like. You believe in all of it. So if you have no desire in any way, shape, or form to change this part of you, then you can't actually repent of that sin. Correct?
okay. So that's an interpretation of the word. That's not what the word actually states. But I'll let Tristan go ahead
The
and,
word
and
does say
I'll say
that.
your hand up.
Faith without works is dead. So faith just means a confession of your mouth. If your works, meaning your lifestyle, doesn't actually show your works, then we know that you're just talking. You see
Does,
what I
does
mean?
does it say faith without works loses salvation?
That, this is why I say that is
That's why I say
a
it's an
that
interpretation. That's not what it
well,
says.
no, no, no.
Oh boy.
Well, listen, I am challenged, and I don't want to make this too much because we can change the subject. But I don't. I'm a challenge that they didn't never obtain salvation. How about that? That's what I would challenge, that they actually never obtained salvation. Not that they lost it, but they never actually obtained it. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tristan.
If I may interject, 2 or 3 points I would like to make. I hear and understand what you're telling me, and you have every right to feel the way that you feel, and how you feel is valid. Um, but the things I've just heard is
Mhm.
why people who aren't Christian or who are in the LGBTQ community, this is one of the reasons why they say there's no hate like Christian love.
That's fine. That's
You know what
fine.
I'm
They
saying?
killed Jesus. They killed Jesus. That's fine. You
But
know, Jesus said this: "My sheep hear my voice." So
mhm.
there's an expectation that ones that don't believe in what he says will turn against it, and it is not above man to, when they don't support something, to say things and twist things and say stuff like there is no hate like Christian love. Right? That's fine, because your definition of hate is opposing, not agreeing with me, right? So if you don't agree with me, then you call that hate, right? And I say that's a twisted definition of hate, because I call that love. If I say, no, I believe your actions will lead you to something far worse than you can imagine, and that's separation from Christ, then I actually love you by saying things that you may not agree with. You just may not agree with it right now. That's not called hate. I just told you earlier, I'm not saying to condemn these people and treat them like secondary citizens, second subhuman, or secondary citizens, or any of those things at
Okay,
all. At
okay.
all. Just like I used the example with the transgender teacher. No, I ain't taking them out of the class, but I am still going to teach my child X, Y, and Z. You see what I'm saying? So I still treated that person like a human being. I still acknowledge that. I still acknowledge their existence by still saying, hey, if they want to be called Miss, Ma'am, she, her, no problem. See what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But I'm not going to indoctrinate my child with a level of confusion that that's what she actually is, right? She
But
is actually
child already
not a she.
confused
That's
and
all.
FA, isn't she already
Huh?
confused anyway? If you're
Say it
saying okay,
again.
man, but she wants to go by Mrs. Isn't that already gonna be confusing? Because now I got questions.
And I got answers. Daddy got answers. You see what I'm saying? And you're right. A child like mine is a curious mind. And we're tasked with being able to fulfill some of those answers. Maybe not all, but that's a layup for me. That's easy. You know what I mean? Some things are very simple to explain. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
The second point I would like to make is I'm hearing a lot of concern of damnation,
Yes.
which
Separation from Christ.
you have, again, you are valid to feel that way about the people that you care for because you want them to be saved. But at
Sure.
the same time, I would like to plant a seed or at least challenge you to not, I don't want to say not focus 100% on damnation, but I would like for you to focus more on the love that Christ has to offer. Christ loves everyone.
Me.
He loves your LGBTQs, your trans, and all that stuff.
100%.
I
100%.
so, but that's the seed I want to keep watering because I hear it all the time. I mean, believe me, my dad's a pastor,
Oh,
and
wow. Bless him.
so
He is.
He not a
And
son.
he
yeah,
He not
but
a
but but
Jehovah's
my dad's
Witness, is he?
but
What is
my,
he? Go ahead. Anyway,
say it again.
never mind. I'm throwing shots. Go ahead.
No. I'm pretty sure you were saying it in jest, but I encourage listeners and viewers right now, for those who have been seeing what the results of this Charlie Kirk mess because someone said we got off topic.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
um, so I encourage viewers and listeners to actually take a dive into what Charlie Kirk was saying because
Mhm.
you can be a racist. You can be a racist and still believe in God. Absolutely,
100%.
absolutely. But
100%.
Kirk's Kirk's rhetoric and his messaging does not reciprocate or reflect God's love in his actions towards us.
I like
I
the
think
five.
I like that, but I think that's a little unfair. But I agree.
Hold on. 1985 said, I see what FA is saying. People are trying to alter the word of God to fit more modern day conveniences. God wasn't in all accepting God. There was standards. People are slowly removing the sidebar.
So,
Absolutely.
so you also
So
have
we're
to.
putting limitations to God's love.
Not
That's what it
God's.
sounds like to me.
No, we have to change your definition of love. You think love is accepting everything. We're challenging your definition of love.
Hmm.
My definition of love is not accepting of everything. That's what love is, to not accept everything. Your definition of love is to accept everything. And that's not what my definition of love is. So, my definition of love is, in my belief, God's definition of love. And his definition of love is, I love you so much to correct you when you're doing wrong. Not to, I love you so much to allow you to drown yourself, you know what I mean? Even just because you want to do it.
All right, let's just final thoughts. Tristan, I'll start with you since you are a very special guest. Thank you for
Well, thank you. I
Shout out
appreciate
to
it.
Tristan.
For one, I appreciate these type of conversations. I feel as if this is how we challenge ourselves and each other as a community, because more than anything else, all I want is for our people, Black people, to strive, thrive, and be successful. And sometimes we're gonna have to talk to each other, or sometimes we are in the way of ourselves.
Mhm.
And I got to bring some hip hop into this. And for some folks, when it comes to talking about religion and the LGBTQ community, J. Cole once said, "Don't save her. She don't want to be saved."
we don't want to
Mhm.
say.
So some people don't want to be saved, and sometimes you just gotta leave it at that
Three
and take
six
the
three
L.
six Mafia said it first, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
I'm
You
just
into
messing with you.
semantics, man. Let her make it. I was gonna let
Yeah,
her
No,
make
yeah,
it.
I
I was
got you.
like,
I
it
yeah,
got
came
you.
yeah.
out way
I got
before
you.
that, but it's all good.
F
Yeah.
A. All right, FA, what are your final thoughts, sir?
I'm just happy that the listeners keep us on track. You're right, because sometimes we do start getting off
No,
track.
but
But yes,
it was a good conversation.
yeah, I think it is. I think it is too.
It's a
But
conversation that we definitely need to have again.
yeah.
We have more time to have those type of conversations. FA, you've been missing, and Rashad, you've been missing some good ones.
I put the notification on
We've been
your page
about
now.
your
Now
favorite.
I gotta put the notification on. So anytime you post or say anything, if you log in, I get a
Listen,
notification now.
listen. So we were talking about your favorite rapper the other day, Sierra, with Future, and Sierra changed the baby Future to Wilson. You would have loved it.
I was
Future a
Look,
deadbeat, so who cares how he feels?
hey,
what?
Rashad,
No, no,
they,
no,
hey,
no.
hey.
Future a deadbeat.
Rashad, I would never forget about you. Go ahead, sir.
Future a
Final thoughts.
deadbeat.
No,
Sir.
Are women who commit abortions murderers?
Oh my God, we're not.
Let's be clear
We're
with the name
not
calling. Go
done
ahead.
again. Rashad, final thoughts.
Go ahead.
so this was the reason that I wanted to bring Tristan in because, as I told you at the very beginning, I knew what was about to happen because I know both of your views. I believe
Okay.
very well. Um, the one thing that I will remind everyone, Didi, I say it to everything. I say it to everything. We have to be willing to find where the balance is. The answer is never all the way to the left. It's
All the
never
way
all the way to the right.
to
Even with
absolutely.
this LGBTQ, conversation, the one element that we have to address is like Tristan said, sometimes Christians are not as forgiving with this particular element as they are with other things. But then to Hefe's point, sometimes this LGBTQ community, sometimes they have an audacity about them
Hmm.
that they try to force on people. And they try to force it on people that have no idea how it's evolving because that thing evolves like a rocket, right? And so if you get one of the definitions wrong, or if you don't understand what someone's attempting to be called and all these other things, it brings confusion to us, but it brings anger to them.
Yeah.
And so like I said, so it's just an understanding somewhere in the middle. So it doesn't matter whatever the topic is, right? The end of the day is let's be willing to have the conversations. Let's be willing to keep the emotions out of it and just speak specifically to facts and understanding, and then to be willing to shake hands, walk away from the table, and then be willing to come back and dialogue tomorrow. And so I think that's what we did here. So
I do. I respect
Can I
all.
say one more thing?
Okay, go ahead.
I think it's important for all the listeners. Christianity should not be measured by its followers. Christianity should be measured by Christ. So when they say Christians do this and Christians do that, like my man, I'm losing your name. Jesus
Tristan,
Christ.
Chris,
No, you. Jesus.
me?
Rashad.
I know.
Oh, Rashad, that's all good.
Rashad. No, I know you know name.
No.
Just like Rashad so eloquently said earlier, every Christian is not at the same point of their
Yep.
spiritual level. So
Yep.
just because they claim to be just because they are a Christian doesn't mean that they're at a state where they
100%.
are in proper representation of their belief. So
100%.
don't judge Christianity by Christians. Judge Christianity by Christ. I think that's important to say. Go ahead.
No,
That's it.
absolutely important because I grew up with a holy hypocrite, baby. And if I judged off he moved
100%.
out here with
Yeah.
Holy hypocrite.
but my final thoughts are I appreciate you, Three Kings, for coming on here. 1985 pointed
Let's
out
go, baby.
get a YouTube channel.
Get back in the
Have
gym, bro.
I do have my
I need to. I need to. Really.
my YouTube
I
is
really need to.
post. I try to post these videos on a regular basis, but it's the same. I Parker on YouTube. You can go like, follow, subscribe. But most of the videos, if you miss anything, are up right now at YouTube. My final thought is, if you thought I was getting ready to get on here to talk about Desi Banks today, oh, poor Tink Tink. I ain't got shit to say about that nigga. But okay, I'm done.
Jesse Banks, what happened?
That
I
went,
missed it.
that went left real fast.
Because I was trying to set up an interview with him.
I
And
seen that. I seen it. I thought it was. I was like, was this a diss or what?
yes, he was like, cool, let's do it. And then I was like, okay, Tuesday, blah blah blah. And then he never responded back to me. So fuck him.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, I got you.
And what
Okay.
his little roadie tried
I'm
to
riding with you, DD. I'm riding with you.
listen.
Forget him.
And then when his little roadies tried to come for me, talk about why you trying to expose a black man. I said I didn't expose you because if I expose it, I'm gonna bring the house down. That was nothing. Keep it moving, move along. If my man's not telling me to take down the post, mind your business. All right, I'm done. We'll be back tomorrow, 2:00 FA,
For sure.
and 1:00 my central people. All right, Tristan, anytime you want to hop on, friend, you're welcome. Thank
I
you.
do. I
Appreciate that.
think I like your description of yourself. As a radical black, believe it or not, I focus on every word people say. You know what I'm saying? So identify with that to a certain degree. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I actually hate the Democrats, and I really dislike the Republicans. You see what I'm saying?
Man,
I
at least
really
you
dislike the
finally
Republicans.
admitted it. God
Hey,
damn, you've
Oh
been
no, no, no.
you've been booty shaking on that.
Saying that forever. I said that I think Republicans are wolves, and I think Democrats are wolves in sheep's clothing. And that's why I hate the Democrats because they present themselves as someone who actually messes with us. The
and
Republicans don't act like they mess with us. That's why
Tristan,
it's easy to point them out. You know what I'm saying?
you missed our whole Washington D.C. conversation that we had with this one and
Oh,
National
please
Guard,
invite me for the next.
Yeah,
but
yeah, for sure, for sure.
about the
Yeah,
National Guard.
that man done packed up his laptop. He ready to go.
All right, y'all.
Y'all done took the end of his day.
All right, I will do it again tomorrow. It'll be Friday. All right,
See
enjoy
y'all
Thursday
tomorrow.
All
football.
right.
Peace.
I will. Bye bye.
See.